values, and knowledge regarding entrepreneurship.
Thanks, guys. Hope I'm audible. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon to all. So we have our chief guest, Mr. A.S. Gautam Krishnan, CEO of Software and Information Security, Nix Walls Freelance Business Solutions. I'm delighted to welcome him and I convey my regards for accepting our invitation. So handing over the session to you, Mr. Gautam. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's always a pleasure to be here. So, good afternoon, all. Thank you so much for being here at 12 o'clock on a Saturday. I'm sure this, at least you'll not be bored, right? So, as we all know, our பத்து மணி வரைக்கும் தூங்குறவன் என்ன பனிமலை சேர்த்து விட்ட உடனே காலையில 5 மணிக்கு எந்திரிக்கும் போதுல முதல் 2 வாரம் வந்து செம கஷ்டமா இருந்துச்சு. அந்த பஸ்ல தூங்குவேன், கிளாஸ்ல தூங்குவேன், பயங்கரமா தூங்கிட்டு இருந்தா எல்லா ஸ்டாஃப்லையும் நல்லா திட்டு வாங்கியிருக்கேன். பட் ஆஃப்டர் 2 weeks or after maximum month, it got used. And that habit is sticking with me till date. Waking up in the morning. So these are just small traits. And you always see your நம்ம எல்லாருமே கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்போம் பனிமலை ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் டைம் 20 minutes ahead of normal time. என் வாட்ச் இன்னுமே பிஎஸ்டி தான் இருக்கு. I am ahead to meetings because it is a very very irritating feature that people come out late. லேட்டா வருவாங்க, இஷ்டத்துக்கு வருவாங்க. That small habit which you didn't like in the starting but was enforced at you, and I am following that till date and it has proved to be really very helpful. So definitely there is a tough route ahead. Be patient and everything will be successful and great. So the next quality which you need is planning. So the major thing which everybody lacks, from the starting, even I lacked, I learned it the hard way. But in the quote வந்து என்னதான் 2001 2002 வந்திருந்தாலும் at 2021 today, this is the most important quote every person needs in life. எந்த ஒரு விஷயத்தை பண்ணாலும் பிளான் பண்ணாம பண்ணா இப்படிதான். சரியா? So every day, unless and until you know where you're going, you know where the destination is, there's going to be nothing. எல்லாரும் என்ன சொல்லுவாங்கன்னா நான் 1 yearல இங்க இருக்கணும், 2 yearsல இங்க இருக்கணும், நான் வந்து காலேஜ் இப்பதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர் படிக்கிறேன், நான் 4th year முடிக்கும் போது இந்த கம்பெனியை பிளேஸ் ஆயிருக்கணும், ஆர் நான் இந்த பொசிஷன்ல இருக்கணும்னா வாட் இஸ் த பிளான்? என்ன பண்ண போறீங்க? There has to be a plan that, see, if you are to reach 100%, there is definitely always a 10%, 20%, 30%. Define it. Hello.
கேக்குதுண்ணா.
Hello.
So yeah, guys, audible?
Yes.
Gautam, yes.
Got it. Thanks, man. So everything that you do, so like I was saying, if there is 100% to anything, like the destination is 100%, you need to step through 10%, 20%, 30%, 40, 50, 60, and then only you will eventually reach 100. So if you are planning for 100, please make sure you define 10% and 20%. It might be as small as starting the first page of a book, waking up early in the morning, reaching in time. It has to be small, but define everything. So how many of you as of now in the morning plan your day? This is what I have to accomplish today. This is what I have to accomplish this week. This is what I have to accomplish this month. Because when you start without like you just start your college and after 6 months you'll take define your plans of what you're going to do today, what you're going to do tomorrow, what you're going to do. See, where should you be if you want to be at your destination? Where should you be 3 months down from the lane, 6 months down the lane? Please define that in your life. It might be anything. everything can be broken down into small parts and can be defined. So planning your life, planning your path is very, very, very important. The next thing that you need is ability to get work done. Okay. So most of you, like when you're given a particular task or when you assign yourself a particular task, now the முடிக்கணும் அப்படின்னு when you started, but at the end of the day, most of us come up with reasons for not getting the work done. Let's say I had set myself a target that my company had to do $1 million last year. At the end of 1 year, I could definitely come up with some good reason. There are thousands of reasons in the world. You could come up with any reason to say why this is not done. But you have to get it done. That is why you're at that position. See, there is a very small story which is very close to my heart from the starting, right? I'm sure I must have told it to some of you, but please bear with that, right? So it was long back before the inventions of small sized car, when Ratan Tata was traveling in his car, right? And there was a torrential rain. There were storms going around, and he saw a family of 4 people driving in a bike amidst those storms. It was very tough for the driver to even drive through that storm. But the family of 4 people was going in a two-wheeler. So that day, he decided to himself, and in the next board meeting, he called his board and he asked, I want to make a car for 1 lakh rupees. You guys figure out how to do. That meeting lasted approximately for 2 hours, and every member of that team very nicely explained to Ratan Tata why it cannot be done, right? But the important thing is not what happened in the meeting, how the meeting ended. Ratan Tata very patiently heard to each and every point put forward by experts in that domain. Very patiently heard all of that, and in the end of the meeting, he just told this one line which changed the. Now that you all have applied your brains and thought of beautiful reasons of why it cannot be done, I want you all to, put forward your intelligence and put forward your intellect and think of a way and come up with a way of how it can be done. 6 months from the day, nano was invented, and now nano cars are across the globe. You can see them everywhere. So there is always a way to get things done, right? Like they say, if there is a will, there is a way. Definitely, there is a short way, there is a long way, there is a tough way, there is an easy way. But end of the day, there is definitely a way. Rather than satisfying yourself with reasons of why it cannot be done, find out a way to get it done, and definitely the path will be tough, but you'll enjoy the fruit of it. That is for sure. The next skill that you would need is common sense. See, every time when there is a task in hand, every one of us, exaggerate it, make it so big, and think that it is some kind of a monster, right? But at the end of the day, the answers to every question is very simple. Most of you, I hope, are from the ITCSE background here. Everything is either a 0 or a 1. It's just binary. Either it is going to happen or it is not going to happen. There is nothing to exaggerate in life. You face a loss, yes, you have faced a loss. Apply your common sense and think what went wrong and what should be done to correct that and get that running again. You failed an exam, nothing to cry about. Sit back, think why you failed, what did you do wrong, and then don't repeat it again, right? Emotions are a very, very tricky thing. Never in your decision making let emotions come into play. Just need to apply your common sense, right? I always have seen, like, this is a recent event that happened in my company, right? There was a code which was done, right? Everything was perfectly working fine, but somehow the data we were sending and the data which was being received in the dashboard was not same, right? So everybody, developers, the architects, everybody spent their time. They spent around 2 days searching for what is wrong, why is it wrong, why is it not going. They came up with such complicated solutions. They put up a middleware in the between to parse the data that is going and then look at the output. They did so much complicated things. But you know what this error was? They were passing a wrong variable. That's it. You could have just gone to the code and with common sense have checked what is the variable that is being passed. And this was an issue for literally 5 minutes. But everybody spent around 2 days debugging the solution. If you had applied common sense, right, it would have been solved in 5 minutes. This is a thing which is, very true in all scenarios. You just, the problems that you have in hand are made so big. You think of it so big that, you just exaggerate it a lot, but don't look at the root of the problem. Just think of it with basic common sense. Why did this happen? And you will find the solution right in front of your eyes. The next thing is communication. Communication is a very, very, very important part of life, right? Because at this point in time, every one of you will be, with your friends, with your families, but the major thing which you don't communicate is there is a lot of politics that goes behind in every kind of relationship with your friends, with your families, with teachers, everything. But the major reason is communicate. Communication is the key for everything. You have a problem, tell it to others, right? You might be so close, but tell it to each other to know the situation. Unless and until you know, it is not going to work out. Because, there are events when there is a simple solution in front of your eyes, but you enlarge it so long. If you had just asked for a moment, if you had communicated, this is the issue I'm facing, I don't know how to solve it. Put aside your ego, just ask. Ask. That is the main point, right? Every time, I'm pretty sure all the teachers in this, forum would agree with me on that. I have attended almost all seminars held in Panimala. And I am the only one, mostly, right, at least when it happened in my department, to ask the most dumb questions. I would just ask so dumb questions. Even the teachers would be like, do you really not know this? But I learned, right? And that is why I am doing something in life today, because I asked. I didn't feel like, because most of the people come to, events, come to presentations, come to scenarios and don't ask any questions. They're like, okay, he is speaking something. I am here to cut my class. I do that and I leave. That is never the way to attend any seminar, any event or nothing. Ask anything that you have in mind and communicate. Tell this is the issue I'm facing. This is where I am. And when it comes to communication, most people just think asking out will solve the issue. No, you have to take efforts and then ask, right? Basically, you can't just go to somebody and say, I want to be this. Tell me how. That doesn't work. Communication is a two-way street. You have to tell, hi, I did this. This is where I'm failing. I passed the first 2 steps, but I'm failing in the third. I'm doing so and so, but I don't know how to come across this. That is when actually people will want to help you rather than you not even attempting to do anything and then just asking, I want to do this, tell me how. That is not how it works. So communication is a very, very, very key, right? The last thing which you need is, taking any situation under control, right? Like we discussed in communication, you have to be calm under many scenarios, right? You have to have the scenario under control to take an informed decision. So now if you see all the above points, communication, common sense, ability to get it done, planning, patience, everything ends here. The combination of all of these is what prepares you to be a person, right? So unless and until you have all of these attributes. So let me just tell you a very quick, fun story, right? This is something which happened in my organization. So we were having a project. It was a very huge project for us, one of the biggest projects we had in our company, right? So we had actually missed the deadline. So we were actually 5 days delayed from the deadline. And it was a 6-member team who was working on this particular project. So all of us were up around 2 a.m. in the night It was an all-nighter which we pulled, and we were up 2 a.m. in the night trying to solve an issue. Some of the developers in sleep, basically, rather than running a SQL query, they ran a wrong SQL query. And what they did is, out of a table which had original data, they erased 26,000 original data the day before the demo. Think of what the situation would be, right? Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., I have a demo, and the team erases 26,000 data which was uploaded by the client. Now, can anyone, come up with a solution of how you would solve this scenario? Anyone? What would you do if you were in that place? I just want anyone random to ask. I just want you guys to communicate. What would you do?
Sir, sorry, sir, I cannot understand your question.
Super. So basically, let's say you have a demo tomorrow morning, okay? And the app which you're trying to show demo, your team deletes around the most crucial data of it is being deleted. How will you face that situation? What will be your solution to that situation? Sai Prakash, you asked the question, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what would be a solution to this?
In this case, I will first see my observers view of thoughts, sir.
Okay.
Observer view of thoughts, since it sometimes it depends upon our luck, sir. Because if we fail to present the demo, and if we are confident to present in the manual means that may impress him too, sir. That is my.
Very nice, Prakash. So let me tell you what I did, right? So everybody is super sleepy.
Instead
It is
of
around 2:30 a.m.
instead of telling manually, sir.
Okay, got it, sir. So what I will tell you what I did, right? It was 2:30 a.m. in the morning, and one of the guys, we were all connected in a call, right? We were all connected over Discord. We were discussing. I just heard this noise and somebody said, bro, தெரியாம ஒரு டேபிளை delete பண்ணிட்டேன், right? I was like very casual. I was like, ஒன்னும் பரவாயில்ல bro, என்ன டேபிள் delete பண்ணீங்க? He was like, the main table which had all the partners. I was like, okay, did 10 entries or 15 entries go away? I was like, 26,568 entries have been deleted. We all went in a shock for the next 5 minutes. Nobody knew what was to be done, right? We called the support 2:30 a.m. in the morning. We said, is there any way to, get this back? Because generally what you would do, what anyone would do at that position is, right? You would yell at that person, how did you do this? Don't you have any common sense? This, that. Nothing is going to work. You yelling at that person, how is it going to solve this scenario? Tell me. Nothing is going to work. So the next solution was, what we did was, we tried for half an hour to see if something can be rolled back. But unfortunately, our luck was very bad that time, so nothing could have been done. So what we did was, we updated 25-30 dummy data for the next 2 hours, right? We went to the demo, we communicated this issue to the client, but we didn't tell the truth. Neither did we lie, right? What we did was, we told the client, sir, everything is here in front of your eyes, but since we are testing right now, we are only showing you the data which has complete information. So we've just inputted 30 to 40 data which has complete information, and we're showing it to you. After we get back and we will send you the application, we'll enable all the data. So this bought us around 8 to 12 hours of buffer time. What the developers did was, they wrote a script which uploads the data directly from an Excel sheet. That process is called a bulk upload. I was there attending the meeting. I had my friend attending the meeting with me. There were 6 developers working in the backend. Everybody took 10 Excel sheets, which exactly took them 15 minutes, right? So 10 Excel sheets to each person, 6 people. They uploaded the whole content in the next 10 hours. Thank you for muting me, whoever did so. So that was the solution, right? So rather than getting tensed in a situation, so this actually might be, so one thing that I've been blessed with in my career at, various organizations is I've been blessed with a very beautiful team that I have. That is one thing which you have to understand in each and every organization, especially if you're going to a startup, right? You are a predominant member of that team and you give some value to the organization. So at the end of the day, it is not important what skill you have. You might have any skill. It is not necessarily coding. It is not necessarily technical. You can have any skill, but at the end of the day, you should have something to contribute. You should have something that you can bring to the table of that particular organization. Only then, right, you are a successful in your college life, in your personal life, right? So everybody would, every 178 members, everyone present here must have any one skill. Somebody would be like, I'm good at singing. Somebody would be like, I'm good at dancing. Or somebody would be like, I'm X. Nobody can beat me in coding. Somebody would be like, I am very good at handling people. Identify what you're good at and leverage that particular skill, and you are definitely going to succeed in life. Just make sure you have the patience, you have common senses, and you have a proper plan in hand. Definitely, every one of you is an entrepreneur within yourself. You don't need a special course, you don't need a special skill to become entrepreneur. All these basic skills which you have by default, you should know how to apply them in life. You are an entrepreneur. So guys, any questions out here? I'll not bore you with long talks. Definitely no, because I know how it feels to be there. Most of you are muted. Most of you are looking at Facebook. Most of you are looking at Instagram. Most of you are chatting. That is fine. But if you have any questions, right, please feel free to ask. Guys.
So I have one question.
Yes, brother, tell me.
What do you think that is our country is well driven or status driven?
See, it is totally your perspective. A country is both wealth driven and status driven, right? So how does a status come to you? It is with wealth. So basically, unless and until you reach to the point where you can, contribute something to the economy, you have both, right? You should just know how to contribute something. It might be as small as planting 10 trees, but you make a difference. That is how every economy grows. You should have people who can make difference to the economy.
Sir,
Yes, brother. Your good name, please. Jai Vignesh.
what does our company do, sir?
Can you please be more specific in that question?
Sir, for what do you work? Like, what do you do in the company? Like, does it create apps or something like that?
What does my company do?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, my company is a software development company, brother. We do everything with regards to software development. Might it be web application development, mobile application development, branding, design, digital marketing, everything. We do everything.
Sir,
Yes, brother, tell me.
sir, can we join as an intern in your company, sir?
Definitely you can, Kaushik. Just write to me. You can just ping me on LinkedIn. I'll give you my email ID. You can definitely. Brother, there are 178 people in this call. Just ask most dumb questions you have. Doesn't make a difference. Because I used to ask.
Hello.
Yes. Your good name,
Ah,
brother?
this is Karthik.
Yeah, Karthik, tell me.
Yeah, my question is that the funding is enough. Who will fund that for entrepreneurship? Nevertheless, with our college or banks or any other sources for funding.
To be frank, Karthik, I am a bootstrap company. My company is a bootstrap company. I have not even got a single rupee as funding. We started out with a team of 3 members, all 3 friends. But today we're a bootstrap company, and last year our total revenue was $2 million. So you definitely do not need funding to exhibit your skills to anybody. You just need to have something which you can contribute. You do not need a funding to do that.
Another question, is it necessary to have a backup like that from our background, family background? Need to have a backup like that if the company faces some losses like that?
Nothing, brother. See, to be frank, so this month during March, April, and May, our company had faced a huge loss of around 45 lakh rupees, right? We were not able to pay anybody in that organization for the next 3 months. We tried applying for that loan, but the loan process took more than 5 months, right? So you actually do not need any family background or anything. You can, like, I was a part of the organization. The one thing that you need to have is a plan of how you're going to go about everything. You just need to have patience, and you need to know how to handle a situation when you are in stress. Nothing else you do need. You need to have a team whom you can believe on.
Sir, I have a
Okay,
question.
it's tricky.
Sorry?
It seems tricky, I think so.
Why does it seem tricky to you?
Need to have patience, lots of patience and situation handling skills need to be developed.
Yes, but why does that make it tricky? It is not tricky, Karthik. To answer your question, it is not tricky. It is pretty straightforward and pretty simple. All you have to do is be good at what you do. That's it.
So can I ask a question?
Yes, please. Your good name, please.
Nanda Kumar.
Hi, Nandakumar. Tell me.
Sir, so you are part of a startup, right? So you told us that you're part of a startup which had three people, and all
Mhm.
three were your friends.
Mhm.
So my question is, you guys started a startup, and what do you think was different in your startup that made it successful than other startups?
Beautiful, Nandakumar.
What do you think was different? Like, is it your process? Like, is it because you planned every step?
No, Nandakumar. To be very frank, we are today what we are because of the mistakes we made, right? I totally agree with you. It is the process that we had set up, but unless and until 3 months ago or 6 months ago, we didn't know which path we were going on. See, we have this particular policy of making daily progress and updating the client on a daily basis. So basically, there are two things which I think led us to where we are today. One is our process, and one is our, communication to the client. Right? That is the two things which I believe, because even now I'm not sure if the path which we are going ahead is correct. I'm not sure if this is going to lead to success, but I definitely want to try. Right? In the past 6 months, we've made a total 360-degree shift in the policies that we had. Right? We've changed completely everything that we have, but we're experimenting and we're learning. And in terms of learning, so basically what has happened is, initially, even 1.5 years ago, we had not taken a project more than 2.5 lakh rupees. But
Oh,
the learnings that we had, Yesterday, we have sent out a quote for 28 lakh rupees for a single project. We've
Fantastic,
learned
sir.
that is what. So we're just willing to learn, brother. I am not sure even if I'm doing things correct today, even if we are going in the right path today, but we just have this blind. But the learning was for more than a crore. We learned a lot.
Sir, did registration cost an amount or was it none?
Registration did cost an amount, brother. Company registration did start, but we didn't directly start out registering a company. We started out at freelancers. We then started as an LLP company. Then we moved out to private limited.
Oh, great. Okay.
Gautam, I have one question. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, brother. Sorry, I think my internet was bad. Tell me.
Okay. What kind of organization structure do you follow in your company?
There is no actually organization structure, to be very frank, brother. It is a very haphazard process. The only thing that we make sure is to support each other in the company. That's it. See, I started my career as a project manager in the company, right? I have done everything from project manager to coding to client management to HR work to finance work, everything. So there is no organizational structure per se in a startup.
Okay, but the thing is, like some companies undergo kind of a matrix structure or any kind of structures. So I'm asking, what are the strategy you are following in your company to make your company productive as well as the good cash flow?
Freedom, brother. That's it. We let people do what they're good at. That's it. There is no organizational structure or organizational rule per se, but we just let people do what they're good at. That's all. There is, to be frank, there is nothing which we have as policies, which we have as structure for the organization. We do not have anything like that.
Okay, sir. In your website, you have posted that you're doing a digital transformation and product development and product process automation and branding and UI UX. I'm just asking the basic question. If somebody just going into a website, what kind of knowledge you can gather? If I'm going through a website, I'm just surfing your website, what kind of knowledge I can gather? Like what kind of website this is, what kind of company, and what type of services you are doing, you are providing to your customer?
I guess it is the same knowledge which you have gathered, brother. So that is the main thing which we want our people who visit our website to know. I think you've pretty much summed it up.
Yeah.
So that is the thing which we want our customers to know as well, and you've got it right. That is what we do.
Okay. So this is a cloud-based company, sir?
I don't think it mentions anywhere that it is a cloud-based company. No, it is not a cloud-based company.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
So guys,
Thank you, Gautam.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a nice session actually, and we had a good time having you here. It's so interesting and fruitful to hear your own experiences and valuable inputs to us. And you were patient enough in answering all the queries also. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. It was really a pleasure being here.
Thank you. Thank you all for attending the session. Thank you.